solo.
And hello! Welcome to Solo Playthroughs on this beautiful Friday as we do a double header with Button Shy Games. First, we have Numbsters. I'm making sure my audio is good. Should probably have checked that before I started blabbering. And we have a game of ROVE with all the expansions. I mean, there's a lot of ROVE cards. It's nuts. I like it. I like it a lot. So ROVE did make my top solo games video. Numbsters would have been on the list, but it would not have been in the top 29. But I like it for what it is. I think this could be a cool little game, like one of those games, like not as much as like fishing lessons, which I was like, I mean, that's like a gift for like a non-gamer who likes fishing. This is actually a fun puzzle. Like, it's interesting. It's quick. Maybe we'll do it once or twice. We'll definitely do it once. Maybe we'll do it twice. Maybe we'll do it 3 times because it's a quick little puzzle. I have done some things. I've done one thing to kind of make it more of a challenge. For me, and then we'll get to the main course, which will indeed be ROVE with all of the friggin' expansions. My coloration's a little weird with the Button Shy games, so this is pinker than it looks. That seems about truer. So I was messing with the settings. I don't know why I can't get a true color to show up. I mean, that looks right. So there's just some things happening on the camera that is, I can't get a true color all the way through, but hopefully you will get a, the colors do seem to be popping, so hopefully you're getting a enjoyable visual experience here. If someone could pop in the chat at some point and say, yo, you sound good, that'd be great. I need the feedback, people. I live on it. It makes me go, sorry, my Mrs. Playthroughs is texting me. Oh, that's not even Mrs. Playthroughs. This is UPS telling me that my Unbreakable pledge is arriving tomorrow. Whee! Good weekend for me. Not that I have any time to look at that for the next 2 weeks. But I think there's a bit of poetic something. There's like some yin and yang life balance, keeping everything where it's supposed to be, reminding me of the natural order of things, or I don't know, something meta out there to have start a week with Aeon's Trespass Odyssey and end the week with Button Shy. I think there's a nice counterbalance there. You can get some really good games in some very small packages, and I think that's something I constantly tell myself. Now, there is something to be said about table presence and just the grandness of a huge experience that you're being drawn into. I get it. And I understand the allure of that. I understand why one of these cost like under 20 and one of these cost several hundred. There's a pretty big discrepancy. But let's get into Numbsters. So Numbsters, at its core, is a very simple game of a hungry mouth that has a number 8 that likes to eat other numbers, and that's the thing. So you have to feed the beast, and the beast must be fed every round. And if at any point at the end of any turn, if the mouth is on top, that's a problem, because now we're just going to eat your face off, apparently, as I think thematically what's going on. So we want to make sure that this mouth is nice and hidden and always has at least another number on top of it. And again, Button Shy, their shtick is they do pretty interesting, complicated games that works around the idea of 18 cards. Or 18 cards in a base game and then a bunch of cards in an expansion, as we will get to that. But this game basically is 18 cards. Each card is a number of 1 through 18. In addition to the number and the adorable Numbster art that we have, it's fine. There is an ability. Now, Milan. Oh man, Sikovic. I know he's designed a bunch of their games. He's actually one of the co-designers of ROVE, and along with Dustin Dobson and stuff like that. So he does a lot of really interesting stuff and is all across the board with what he does. I forget who was the lead designer. Battle Crest. Battle Crest is a very, very cool game. I do want to explore that some more. That's like a soloable, like skirmish battler that Button Shy has put out. They sent me a bunch of expansions for that, which I just quite honestly have not had the chance to explore. So how we're going to do this is what should I say? So the goal of this game is that you end up with one card and the mouth. That's what you want to do at the end. Now, it's easier to end up with a lower number than a higher number for reasons that will become clear during the playthrough. And one of the things they have in the rulebook is this challenge that you want to end with every card 1 through 18, except you can never end with the 18, and there's reasons for that, which we'll get to mechanically. And obviously, you can never end with just the mouth, because that means you've already lost, because now the mouth is on top. So you're trying to end with 1 through 7, and then 9 through 17. Now, I have been able to I've managed to end the game with 1 through 7. I'm up to number 9, so we're just going to try to do that. So that's my personal addition to the rules. So I have a goal going in. What is the last card I want to have in my hand? And I'm going to try to end this game with the number 9 in my hand. Now, there are 2 ways that the mouth eats. It can eat left to right or right to left. It's always going to eat one of the cards adjacent to it. It will eat if you have ascending numbers, or sequential numbers, I should say. The smaller number will always eat the higher number unless there's a special rule in play. Or there could sometimes be, like, the card on the top of the stack will have a special rule. So this says even numbers, an even numbster can eat a bigger number. So if I had this situation, even though those speaking is hard. Even though those cards are not sequential, this special rule will apply if it's at the top of my stack, and I'm just going to have these laid out so the stack will be basically the card that's on the most right as I do the playthrough today. And by the way, I am very zoomed in, so my hands are huge. Look at these big, strong hands. Oh man, if everyone gets that reference, you get a cookie. Not really, but you know, a theoretical cookie. So anyway, even numbster will eat the bigger number. So the 6 could eat the 11 because that is a bigger number. 11 is higher than 6. I know, advanced math for you all. And what would happen then, if you use the special ability on the top card, that top card now goes to the bottom. So you need to be careful, because if I was like this, and that was literally the top 4 cards of my deck, or top 4 cards on my stack, the 6, if the 6 eats the 11, but then the 17 goes to the back, well, guess what? Now the 8's on top, and I lost because it ate my face off. And, you know, my wife, shockingly, is a little bit partial to my face, so we'll try not to get that eaten off at any point today. So, how do we set this up? How big is my hand? All these questions will become clear in time, people, so just patience. So I'm shuffling up to 17 cards, except for the mouth. So 17 of the 18 cards, not leaving the mouth to the side for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 6 cards off the top, and this will be my starting hand. I don't need to see them right now. So 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to shuffle the mouth somewhere into these 7 cards. And honestly, I'm just going to use a freaking die. And we'll see. So position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 would be the topmost position. And 2, so 1, 2, we'll put that there. And then I'm going to take this over. And now this is my hand. So again, the mouth is very close to the top. We're going to want to figure out how to get it close to the bottom. And there are several ways that we could do that. So this is my starting hand. So it's 6 cards and the mouth. And again, remember, I want to end with only the 9. The 9 is not in my hand yet, so we will need to find that as we go. I'm going to start for my first turn, draw a card, and it will go at the top of my stack. Again, my stack is now just going to be represented by a line. So this is the top of my stack. That is the bottom of my stack. So let's see what these cards do. This says number 3. If the 3 was on top, I could have the biggest number in the stack eat an odd number. The biggest number in the stack is the 18th, but it is not adjacent to an odd number, so that's not going to be totally helpful. Remember, and only the ability at the very top of the stack is the one that is potentially active. So again, that dude's all the way at the back. We'd have to find a way to get that to the front. We have the odd numbster eats a bigger number. So any odd numbster could eat a bigger number. There are no odd numbsters next to our mouse, so that might not be that useful. We have the even numbster. An even numbster can eat a bigger numbster, so I can have the 2 eat the 18 if that was at the top of the stack. We have a single-digit numbster can eat an odd number. So any odd numbster, so that would be interesting, but that would have to be at the top of the stack. We have number 2, even numbster can eat a single-digit numbster. We have the mouth. If on top of the stack at the end of a turn, you lose. We have the gorgeous unicorn numbster. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Is odd numbster eats a smaller numbster, and then we have the odd numbster eats a smaller odd numbster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, so I drew a card. Now, at this point, I could take one card and move it wherever I want. I can move the mouth, I can move the top card, I can move the bottom card, I can move one card anywhere I want in this line. So if we're in the stack, if you're holding it in your hand. Or I could swap the location of two numbsters, both of which could be super effective. So I want to get to the 9. So I'm going to try to cull a lot of the cards lower than 9 because I think that will be super useful. So I'm going to say, let me switch this 18 with this 7, or effectively I'm just moving the 18 to the front. And I'm going to say odd numbster eats a smaller numbster. This is an odd numbster. That's going to eat the smaller numbster. So the 2 is eaten. I'm going to move these 4 cards over here. Since I used that ability for this is going to go to the bottom of the stack. And that is the end of the first turn. Second turn, we draw a card. It is number 16. The smallest numbster in the stack eats an even numbster. Well, the smallest number in the stack is the 3. I'm not sure I want to get rid of the 18 just yet, although it's not the craziest idea. I don't have a great way of getting rid of the 3. Maybe it's just time to get rid of the 18, and I can get this mouth away from the front because that's a little scary. So we're going to move the mouth back to here. And we're going to have this ability for the 16, the smallest numbster in the stack, that is a 3, eats an even numbster. We ate the 18. Since I use this ability, this goes all the way to the back. Excellent. Next turn, we draw a card. Boop, number 10. The bigger sequential numbster eats the smaller sequential numbster. Now, so normally, if you're doing normal eating, the smaller numbster eats the highest numbster. However, with the 10, I can have the higher numbster that's adjacent to the mouth eat the smaller numbster that's adjacent to the mouth. And if I do, remember that I use that ability, so that would go over there. Since the 10 is right above the 9, the only way I can end this game with a 9 and the mouth is that my my other card, the last card I discard, will have to be the 10. So I cannot get rid of the 10. I also, because of that ability, I like to have the 7, the 9, and the 10. I would like to have the 7, the 9, and the 10 around because I can use the 9 to eat the 7 with the 10's ability, put the 10 in the back, and then the 9 can eat the 10. That would basically be how I can wrap this up and win with only the 9 in my hand. So, I don't know what I've been told. All right. So that's not that useful right now. I can move the 16 back to the front, but then remember, there's nothing else adjacent to the mouth, so I wouldn't be able to eat with the 3. Odd numbster eats bigger numbster. That's fine. Maybe I just get rid of this 17. Even numbster eats bigger numbster. I don't want to eat too many big numbsters anyway, so I'm just going to move this over here. And now we're not using an ability. We're just going to do normal eating. The smaller number eats the larger number. So we have 17 and 18 in the stack now, or in the discard pile. These all move over, and that's the end of that turn. And notice, since I did not use the ability, nothing goes to the back. We get to the next card. We draw. It is an even numbster. Eats a smaller even numbster. Well, these aren't really the greatest things for me right now. Odd numbster eats bigger number. I could eat the 16. I'm just getting rid of a lot of the big cards. I'm not getting rid of any of the small cards. Even numbster eats smaller numbster. I kind of dig that. Odd numbster eats bigger numbster. If I switch that, that's not going to work. Singular numbster eats odd numbster. If I switch that, it's not going to work. Odd numbster eats smaller numbster. I don't want to get rid of any of these. Shoot. What I'm going to do is switch the 1 and the 5. No, I'll just move the 5. We'll keep the 1 near the front for now. So I'm just moving the 5. And I'm going to have the odd numbster eat the bigger number. We get rid of the 16. we move the 5 to the back because we use a special ability, and then we put this out here. So 16, 17, and 18 are out. So we have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So we have 10 through 15 as the 6 numbers that are on top of the 9, which is, again, what I'm trying to end with. Even Numbster eats double-digit Numbster. I'm eating too many double-digit numbers. I don't like it. Even Numbster eats smaller Numbster, biggest number in the stack eats odd number. I can get rid of the 5. Sure. So I'm going to switch the 3 and the 15. The 15 is the biggest Numbster in the stack. It's going to eat an odd number. It's going to eat the 5. And then the 3 goes to the back. This comes out. Odd Numbster eats the double-digit Numbster. I don't want to eat double-digit Numbsters. So I need to start being careful about that. I'm trying to get rid of some of the small numbers. Remember, only the 2 and the 5 are in here. I want to get the 1, the 3, the 4, and the 6 in the pile as well. Even Numbster, even number, odd Numbster, smaller odd Numbster. Let's do that. I'm going to put this over here. The 15 is going to eat the 3. Odd Numbster eats a smaller odd Numbster. This goes to the back. This comes out. Even Numbster eats smaller number. Any smaller number. I dig that. I can get rid of the 1, 2, and the 3. So I'm going to put this over here. Again, I can move the mouth. I can move any number I want. The 10 is an even number. Numbster is going to eat a smaller number. It doesn't have to be even or odd. So that's out. These shift over. This goes to the back. Again, mouth is near the front again. But we have a nice sequence setting up with the 13, 14, 15. Here we have the 10 and 11. We just need the 12. We have the 7. Again, we haven't seen the 9 yet. So we'll see when that comes out. Here we go. Speak of the devil. All right, a single-digit Numbster is going to eat a double-digit Numbster. That seems not great. Maybe I can get rid of another one of these big numbers because I'm going to need to start making some room. So I'm going to move the mouth. Again, you can switch 2 cards or move 1 card. The 14 is just going to eat the 15. That's just normal sequential eating. And that will come over there. Next card. It's a 6. Double-digit Numbster eats a single-digit Numbster. Even Numbster eats smaller number. Yeah, I'm going to have to find a way to get rid of the 6. We also have the 4 still in the stack. So this is the 4 and the 12 left in the deck. Right? And I genuinely don't remember all of the special abilities, right? So single that eats odd Numbster. Odd Numbster eats double-digit Numbster. Could get rid of the 14. It's not too crazy. Single-digit Numbster, yeah. So there's not a lot of single-digit Numbsters left in the deck here. So I'm gonna move. How do I want to do this? Yeah, I'm gonna move the 13 to the front. The 7's an odd Numbster. It eats a double-digit Numbster. These move up. This, since I use that special ability, that goes to the back. We draw another card. It's a 4. Odd Numbster eats bigger number. So we get 14 through 18 are in here. We need to get the 4 and the 6 in there. And that might be easier said than done. Even Numbster eats smaller number. I don't want to eat the 7 just yet. Double-digit eating single-digit is definitely something I want to do. Now, again, we only have 1 more card to draw, and once we have no more cards to draw, then we just stop drawing cards, and now we're just trying to work out the puzzle. And again, my goal is to be left with only the 9. We haven't seen the 12 yet, which is making this interesting. Definitely don't want to eat the 10. I could eat the 7. Eat the 7 a couple ways. I'm just worried. How am I going to get rid of the 4 and the 6? And I do like having the 7, 9, 10 as an idea. Odd Numbster eats a double digit. That's not going to work. So 13 is not going to be useful. I definitely don't want to eat the 10. Even Numbster eats smaller Numbster. I mean, I could, in theory, move this over. No, that's not going to work. Never mind. In theory, I can do nothing. Odd Numbster eats bigger Odd Numbster. If I get rid of the 13, that's not crazy. I know the 12's coming up. Yeah, I'm not eating double digit stuff anyway, so I'm going to move this here. We're going to use a special ability on the 4. The 11 is going to eat the 13. This goes to the back. This comes out. How am I going to get... There we go. I can switch the 11 and the 12. Even number eats smaller Numbster. The 12 is going to eat the 4. Since I use a special ability in the 11, that goes here. I can switch the 11 and the 6. Even Numbster eats smaller Numbster. The 12 eats the 6. This goes here. And now I should be in a really good spot. Again, the 7 and the 9 are considered sequential. I probably should have said that before because the 8 doesn't eat. So again, it's a special rule. So how do I not screw this up? So I'm going to do my movement for the turn. I need to get this to the front. I'm going to switch the 9 and the 10. I'm going to do normal eating with the 11 eating the 12. These come over here. I'm going to switch the 10 back here. I'm going to do normal eating with the 10 eating the 11. Nope. All right, dude. Now we'll do it this way. I'll have, yeah, we'll switch the 8 and the 7. We'll have the 7 eat the 9, and then the 10 will go in the back because we use a special ability. So the 9 ate the 7. So the bigger sequential number ate the smaller number, which is cool. And then that's a special ability. The 10 that goes there. We're going to move the 8 here. We're going to do normal eating with the 10 eating the 11. And then we're going to do normal eating with the 9 eating the 10. And then I ended the game exactly how I wanted it with the 9 on top and just the mouth. So then you'd go to your handy dandy chart. It's like, great, I managed to beat with just a 9. The higher the numbers, the harder this gets. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Every time, again, it's just the way the game works out, right? It's always easier to eat the higher numbers than the lower numbers just because of normal eating rules. So there's like a trick when you're trying to get a number in the middle where you're trying to like, all right, use these abilities to get rid of the lower cards and then use a normal eating sequence to get the higher cards. And then for me, I was just able to have the 7 there, use a special ability, make sure I got the 7 out, and then the 10 ate the 11, the 9 ate the 10, and that would have been the game. So again, silly little game. I like it. It's it's never going to crack a top games list, but not every game needs to. This is definitely something. It's a nice little solitaire game. Definitely travels great like all button shy games do. So I feel like I put everyone to sleep. Where is everybody? It's a Friday. Make sure my chat is on because that's happened sometimes. Nope, chat appears to be on. Okay, that's fine. Let's go. We're gonna go to the Rove. All right, Rove. I have all the expansions now. We're gonna make this happen. So we have the base rules for Rove. The expansions we have the reconfigured, and what reconfigured gives you is an alternate module for all 6 of the colors. So every time you see those dots on the side, it's just an alternate module. So how we set up the modules now, and I'll just do this right away. It's going to basically change the special abilities for the modules. Now, for those who don't know, Rove is the results-oriented versatile explorer. If you would like to see a playthrough of just the base game of Rove, you can go on my YouTube, you can go on my channel page, look at the playlist for Rove. It was a video that I did where I had a doubleheader of fishing lessons, which I very much did not like, and Rove. Now, again, Rove is my favorite of the button shy games for solo play at minimum for starters. I think it's a very, very fun puzzle, and it tickles that part of my brain that likes this kind of thing. Now, I might have to expand the camera out. We'll get this thing started, and we'll see if I need to do any rearranging for the tech. But what I'm going to do is take these 6 modules and I'm going to keep putting them out. If I ever get the same color twice, I'm just going to put it to the side. So we have the original purple module, which has the spiral on there. That's the special movement for that, means that it always has to jump over something. When it moves, it can move in all 8 directions, so the 4 cardinal directions as well as any diagonal direction. And it has a special ability that once a game, I can just flip it over to put the coil in any location that I want. That is, as long as it's following normal rules. The normal rules is that it has to be connected to the other modules. All modules have to always be connected to each other in some form or fashion. Now, that can be diagonal adjacency, etc., as you'll see. So just kind of moving myself over to get a little bit more room on the camera here. We have the new green module. So this says move the motor up to 6 times. The original motor, which I can just take out of the stack now, said that you could shift any module 1 space. Now we can actually move this module 6 times. That can be super helpful. We have the new gripper. It allows us to move up to 3 spent modules once each. So the module does have to be spent, but it does allow us to shift all 3 of them. The original gripper said we can activate an adjacent module's ability. We have a new brain. That's right, because my old brain was not working as well. We have to reposition all modules to be adjacent to the brain. In some ways, that sounds brokenly strong because the original was place the brain, any module adjacent to the brain. But remember, all modules have to be moved next to the brain. It's pretty sick. And then we have one of the originals, swap any 2 modules. And finally, we have a new one, draw the last discarded card. That's super flexible. This was just draw any card. So now we have like, oh, we can see the card that we want to draw it back to our hand, make sure we're getting that movement bonus. It could be super, super strong. So the 6 modules not in play, just go to the side. So that is the reconfigured expansion. Next expansion, we have the crawler. The crawler is kind of annoying. There's some rules, a little bit of a rules quagmire, but I think I have it figured out. It might take me a second to think through it again on camera, but we'll see. Now, at the beginning of the game, the crawler is going to start on top of the brain. If an ability, so it says I can move the crawler for 1 moving point to get it to another adjacent module, which can be super helpful. A cover module should be considered temporarily non-existent. You may not use a covered module's normal movement or its ability. If any ability or effect tries to modify a cover module in any way, nothing happens. However, if an ability or an effect allows for or requires you to move or reposition a crawler module, you must move crawler and the modules covering together as one. The cool thing about this, though, it does match for patterns for all movement, right? So if I had... It's going to be hard. It's so I can make it like a wild for all movement bonuses, I should say. Huh? So wild, and for matching any pattern shown on a movement card. Right. So if I wanted to say like, hey, I could treat this as if it was this, and I could get 4 movement points instead of 2, that could be super cool. But I wouldn't be able to get the brain bonus because, again, I need another card over there. Now, it does not count as a wild for purposes of completing some of the tasks that we're going to need to complete in order to win this. Now, what I'm going to do, haven't decided. So the normal rule for ROVE is that you're basically playing to get 7 movement cards, but they have a new module. They have a new way to play it with all the expansions. That's what's it called? It's the endurance mode. I'll actually probably just do that. And I'll explain the difference of that as we go. Let me get through the rest of these expansions. We have the floral expansion. So mixed into these cards are now some floral cards. And the floral cards, I'm trying to remember, how do I see where their little expansions? This should be a floral card. Yeah, it has this little symbol on the front. The cool thing about the floral cards is that they allow you to have a chance to refresh a previously spent module if you match the pattern. So again, if I match the pattern, great. I get to refresh the module, but it doesn't give me any extra movement points, but I get the module ability back. So 6 of the cards in here are from the flora expansion, and we'll put that up there. We have the expansion collection. Again, those are the base rules, so I can put those aside. The expansion collection gives me 18 new movement slash, pattern cards, for lack of a better word. We had the icy incidents. The icy incidents look like this. What do? Well, on the back, they actually freeze some of your modules in place. So I could use this movement card for the 3 movement, but again, I cannot move any of the modules. And remember, when the crawler's on there, again, you can't move that module either. You have to send a point to move that sucker off. So again, this sucker does eat up your movement, which is why it does count as wild for the purpose of forming patterns, to make sure that you get that movement points back, to make this somewhat more realistic. We have the alien activities cards. The alien activities cards have this symbol. Nope, that's Cosmic Crisis. I'll put that to the side. And activities cards are 6. There's only 6 of them, so I'll get the one. Where are you? Maybe I'll get the one. Here we go. And activities cards. So in the back of these, there's an effect. And what it says is that all modules move like the brain. So again, you can get the points of movement, and everything moves as if it was another certain thing. Again, if the crawler's on it, that's not going to be very effective. We're going to want to get that off. It could be helpful, though, to have everything move like the brain, where I can move in, cardinal directions and the like. And then finally, we have the Cosmic Crisis cards. The Cosmic Crisis cards say the big difference between them. Yeah, the big difference between them, instead of trying to match a pattern, you're basically trying to match like an anti-pattern, right? To have this, the gripper cannot be adjacent in a cardinal direction to any card. Then I get the 4 movement points instead of the 2 movement points. So these add a lot of variety to the game in how it plays and how it feels. I think they're pretty clever. I think it's a button check game, man. It's really good. For what it does. I am going to want to move this video a little out on the Zoom, because we are making patterns, people. Cool. We'll see if this works. All right. So normal mode of the game. If I used to play on, I normally would play, or normally have played. Well, I might just do this endurance mode stuff now. The endurance mode, we're trying to get to 12 missions completed with our little favorite robot on Mars here. But I used to play where I would start on the impossible mode, where I just had 3 movement cards to start the game. When you're playing an endurance, you always get a starting hand of 5 movement cards, which are super important. Now, I do forget whether or not you draw your movement cards or you put the first mission card out first. I don't think it matters too much. It is all random. Shuffle the 6, shuffle the decks. Yeah, so you put the top card of the deck will be the first mission, and then we'll draw our hand of 5 cards. So this goes here. Our first mission, if we choose to accept it. Now again, we're trying to get up to 12. Our first mission is going to be the throw. So we need to make this pattern. We're going to need the starburst thingy up in the top left, and then we're going to basically have an L, and we'll have some things to figure out. And this is probably still zoomed in too much. So I'm going to go back here, and that will be a little better. All right, so we have to make that pattern, and I'm going to have a starting hand of 5 cards. Again, I'm not playing on a possible mode. I'm just going to do the endurance mode. We're going to try to get to 12 of these missions. So my starting hand of 5 movement cards is going to be as follows. We have from the cosmic, nope, from the alien, from the floral expansion. This will allow me, if I have that pattern, when I play this card, I can refresh the coil, and either way, I get 2 movement points. We have this, if this is not adjacent to anything else. Actually, let me get the cheat sheet with all the names of what these suckers are. Brain, coil, gripper, laser, motor, and sensor. So if there's nothing here, or here, I would get 4 movement points instead of 2 movement points. Then for the purpose of getting bonus points, I can consider the crawler to be any one thing, so that's something I'm going to want to keep in mind. Again, not for the purpose of having a pattern completed, but for the purpose of the movement bonuses entirely. That is our second card. Our third card is going to be If we have this pattern, we can refresh the laser and then get 2 movement. Our 4th pattern card is if the laser is in that pattern, so in the middle, then 1 up here, 1 up here, we can get 5 movement points instead of just 3. And then we will have, I'll actually put this over here, and then I'll have my handed cards over here. And then we finally have this. If we have that pattern, we can refresh the sensor and then have 1 movement point. So not the greatest movement cards. Not a single one of them is going to give me the stronger movement points early. So we'll see if I can make this work. Let me pause this real quick. Alrighty then. Well, let's see how I want to make this movement work. Um, I can get there in 4. I could just swap any 2 modules. And when I end this pattern, I will have the 4 movement there, which is super strong. I mean, I'm looking at things like a potentially refreshing that's not going to be that helpful at this point. Placing the coil in a position, refreshing that isn't going to really work. That's going to be possible. Oh, I can do this, yeah. So I'm going to use this ability on the laser. I'm going to swap these 2 modules. And then I'm going to use this. Woof. I need 2 movement. Yeah, I'm going to get this card. That gives me 2 movement points. I'm not in that pattern, so I'm not refreshing the coil, but I haven't used the coil anyway. So with my 2 movement points, I'm going to move 1. Again, the sensor can move in a diagonal direction. It does not need to jump over anything. And then I'm going to move 2. This can move in any direction I want. And now that is there, I have made the throw pattern. It's a beautiful throw pattern. All right, and then I'm going to use both of them. So this is now discarded, and I'll put this discard pile over here. I should have looked at the warp pattern, which is next, but that's fine. Hopefully we'll have a way to work it out. Now, as soon as we finish a pattern, so completing missions, when your modules match the patterns from the mission card, you completed the mission. If you're not, you completed 7 missions. Take the top card from the deck, put it up here. That's there. So we have done 1 of 12. If you have fewer than 5 cards in your hand, draw 1 card. So we draw this. Now I have 4 movement. That's great, but I cannot move either the laser or the brain, right? The brain, which is covered by the creeper right now. So how does this pattern work? I'm somehow going to need to get the sensor all the way up there, or at least up there. And then I think this is actually going to be easier than I feared. Yes. Interesting. All right, I'm going to use this movement card. I do match that pattern. We have the laser and then this and this. So that pattern is good. I get to refresh the laser. And now I have 2 movement points. I'm going to use this laser again to swap these 2. And my 2 movement points, I'm going to go 1 and 2. Oh, that's bad. Nope, let me rethink this. Let me rethink this. I need to get this up there, which is hard because it only moves diagonally, and that's not great. Move the 3 spent modules. Nope. Could switch those. Nope. Yeah, because this is gonna put me in a bind, and then getting something into there is gonna be super annoying if I move that guy out of there. Um, this has to jump. Huh. There's another, one of the alternate things is that you can ignore the special module placement, which is like a super strong ability. I obviously just did not get that one. But if I do move that, I get another 2 movement. Draw the last discarded card. That's fine. Yeah, I will use this after all. So we're going to refresh this. We have 2 movement points. I'm going to use this again to swap. I'm going to swap. Nope. Yeah, I'll swap the same 2 I did. With the 2 movement points, we're going to move this here. We're going to move this there. So again, as long as it moves and it stays connected to everything else, that card's now exhausted. And then we have one. I'm going to use this. I'm in that pattern. So I get, well, actually, let me do this. I'm going to use this ability to draw the last discarded movement card. I'm going to use this. I'm in that pattern. So I can refresh this. Now I have 1 movement point. I'm just going to move. That's dumb. So maybe I don't do this. Yeah, I don't do that. That just goes to this card and stays. And now I'll move 2. So I just got to move this 1, 2. Great. I'm going to use this 2 movement points to move the motor up and motor over. We have our warp. That goes there. I'm going to now use this to draw the last discarded movement card. So we've exhausted that ability. We're going to now put this here since we completed our second mission. Again, we're going for 12, and then we draw a movement card because we had less than 5 cards. I'm going to use, we need to make this pattern now, which should be pretty easy. So I'm going to get 4 movement points. 4 movement points with this. So the 4 movement points, I'm going to go 1, 2. I'm going to move the crawler to here, 3 and 4. Look at that. We managed to do this. And I did lose the ability to refresh that right away, but I thought just doing that with 1 card made a lot of sense. Remember, I had 4 movement points because when that started, it was in a perfect place where I did not have anything in either of those 4 positions. And then with the 4 movement points, I was able to again put that there, move that over, move the crawler, move the brain where it needed to be. So we finished that one. So that's our 3rd mission completed. This comes up here. We draw another card. It is another, what is it? Cosmic activity card. Is that the right one? Nope, it's a floral card, so we have that position. We can refresh the motor, which I haven't used at all. The gripper, actually, that was dumb. I know the gripper was going to be there, so I would have actually just moved this onto the coil off the brain because I knew the thing coming up had the gripper, so that would have been a really dumb thing for me to do. Um, Interesting. I'm going to, if the brain and that are frozen, that's not going to work for me. I want to draw the last movement card. Not going to get the max effects here. Diagonal, diagonal. Yeah, I need to get this sucker here. Which is probably going to mean moving the brain down and then 1, 2. So if I have 3 movement, I can get this. If I have 4 movement, I can get this done. Can I put myself in a place where I'm triggering some of these bonuses? Probably not. I don't think it makes sense to not, because again, could I build the gripper this way and get these 3 over here? Probably not. So I'm gonna have to do it in a little bit in an inefficient way, which is not great. But I can do. I do want to refresh that. This is really important. If I do 1, I'll use this card here. So we get 3 movement points. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3. That's done, and then I will lose the ability to refresh that. That's not great. Refreshing that could be important. That's probably a little more realistic. What's next? Oof. That next pattern's really rough. Probably not going to do this anyway, so I'm going to do 1. I'm going to play this card for 2 movement points. I'm going to move the crawler and then move this into here. All right, that's done. We finished the 4th pattern. This comes up here. For our 5th pattern is the plant, so another floral card. This comes off. It is entertained, but the movement on the back is 4, but everything moves like the coil. It's a lot of movement, but remember, the coil you have to jump, which is pretty tough to pull off at times, but actually don't necessarily hate it for this specific challenge. I do need to somehow get the gripper over there. We still have the brain ability, which is very, very strong. I can't use any of these refresh abilities. Oh, remember, I have been forgetting to consider that the crawler is a wild for all purposes of movement bonuses, but I don't think I've missed out on any as a result of that. All modules moving like the coil is not necessarily great. I do wish I could have swapped 2 coils again. One. If I move this here, this here, 2, 1, 2. I don't think that's gonna work. Brace coil at any valid location. One, two. I could just do the one. What's the point? Oh, 1, 2, 3. I could do it that way. Great. I'm going to do all things move like the coil. So 1, 2. Again, they have to jump over anything, but they can go in any direction. 3. And then I'm going to just exhaust the coil's ability to move it there. Now, do I want to move? I know that center is going to be next. So I don't think I want to move the crawler anywhere, but well, if I am going to need to move that crawl. So I have one more movement point there. I'll move the crawler. So if I leave it, can I get everything off to the side here? Probably not. I don't think there's an obvious place to move this sucker. Can I make a pattern? Does not seem like it. Yeah, I'll leave him on. Move with the 3 spent modules. I think you move it according to their normal movement. I don't think you're shifting them. I think you're actually moving them. Whereas according to their own movement rules. That could be pretty strong. I do have 3 spent modules. So I'll leave the crawler on the motor. That's the end of that. So that's our 5th sequence. We get now the scan pattern. We draw another movement card. Interesting. Frozen. That's not in that pattern anymore. Yeah, I haven't been able to take advantage of this floral stuff at all. But I can go 1, 2, 3. That bumper is going to be super annoying. Yeah, that bumper is the biggest problem because it's in the middle of freaking nowhere. Sadness says, wait, where's everybody? Must be a lack of dice. We lose a comedy factor from the stream. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I like these games. I think they're fun. They're just a nice change of pace. It's a Friday. It's a Friday. It's a summer. People got things going on. I am not blaming them, but kind of in my own little world. But it's good to see you, sir. Blah. Yeah, that bumper is going to be a big problem. 'Cause one. Everything else makes sense, but I have no. It would have to be 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if these two are frozen, it's like the worst two to be frozen. Like that's horrendous. Two to be frozen. Oh, interesting. Refresh. Maybe I want the. Oh, I probably want the motor. Remember, I had the extra movement over here, but I didn't know what my movement card would be. Yeah, I'm not making any of these patterns. Woof. All right. Let me do this. I'm going to use this one for move 2. And we're going to move this here and this here. Maybe you have to stay connected. So my problem is if I move this there and this here. This is done. I think this will work. I have this ability now, which lets me refresh this and move 1. I can move this up here. I can move 1. I'll move this over here. Nope, I need to keep that connected. Yikes. I'll move this up here. And then I'm like, my problem is none of this is great. Because this has to come down in here. I can move this over with the motor. I can move this down, this over, but I'm 4 movement away. This tells me that the brain is frozen, which is really bad. I can't get the brain at the position yet because I don't have the it would be not connected to the other 6 modules. This is very much falling apart. It's falling apart on me. Moving up to 3 spent modules wouldn't have made sense. Moving the motor 6 times doesn't make sense. These 2 being frozen doesn't make sense. Woof. And if I did this, right? So this refreshed, and now I have 1 movement point. I could use it again to grab this and then do that movement there. And then that goes there. It ain't great, but at least give me 2 cards in my deck. Then remember, this is the next thing. The motor's gonna have to get down to the bottom, so I don't want to use that special ability this turn. But I think I'm going to be wasting any bonuses associated with either of these. So this crawler module being where it is has not been great. So if I move 2, This goes here. This moves over. That gets discarded. I move 2 again. This goes here. It has to jump over something. Brain can jump over something. And then we finished this pattern. And I only have 1 movement card left, which is rough. Now I still have 3 special abilities. So you're saying there's a chance, but it is not a great one. So that's our 7th pattern completed. That's our 6th pattern completed. That comes off. We get this. Effect. We can't move the creeper or the brain. We can be pre-position all modules to be adjacent to the brain. That might make some sense. The brain only moves in cardinal directions. And both my movement cards leave the brain to be frozen. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. All right. Well, let me do it this way. So I'm going to use the brain's ability, reposition all modules to be adjacent to the brain. So that includes the crawler. If I'm reading the crawler right, you still do that. It just has to move together. And I'm obviously going to put this one here. This I can go, what's next? That's a really nice next one. This here, and this here. That's gross. Nope. I'll move this here and this here. And then the brain and the creeper will be, the thing will be frozen. Oh, and that's frozen. I'll put this here and this here. Yeah, that will totally work. And now I just, probably doesn't make sense to use 3 movement for that, but it probably also doesn't make sense to use this ability for that either. So I will then use that 3 movement. I cannot move the creeper or the brain. We'll move that there. And that completes that pattern. Oh, wait. Yeah, sorry, the color looks really weird over here. So that completes that pattern. That's done. That's our 7th out of 12. This comes up here. We have another movement card. We now need to complete this pattern. Of course, I don't get the 3. I only need the 1 anyway. I don't want to waste the 4. The next pattern has the sensor in the middle. So that could work. I think maybe sort of. I'm going to use this 1 movement to move this guy over here. That completes that pattern. This goes up. This comes over. Effect, all modules move like the motor. Super interesting. Or we have the laser and the brain being frozen. Also interesting. All right, sadness, but at least in these games, you rarely have to count higher than 16 or 18. So what you're saying is I don't have things going on. Kind of rude. Anyway, I cannot stay long. Just thought I'd show up, channel some snarky comments. Do you get a woof out of that guy? I did. Malcolm, love this game. My workplace printer loves it too. Nice. Yikes. All right, I'm trying to get that thing now. This is the most. It's oddly the most annoying one. It's just the way it only moves diagonally, and it's I think gonna be my downfall right now because I don't know how else I'm gonna pull this off. Coil can't move anywhere. Everything moving like the motor could be helpful. I can move the motor 6 times, which is super helpful. I'm running out of special things. All right. Let me move the motor. Everything moves like the motor, and I move the motor 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. So everything moves like the motor. Ah, the freaking crawler's on top of it. Yikes. Is there any way I can short circuit this? This is the alien activities expansion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is unfortunate. Yeah, there's no swap. Woof. Yeah, that crawler's really getting in my way. Move up the 3 spent modules according to the normal movement is another idea. I can just spend all my modules. The coil has to be, the coil is going to be next in the middle of everything. So if I have in the bottom right here, woof, that's going to be a rough one. The brain in this being frozen has been a constant problem. One, two. Oh, this could be interesting. If I go 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. 1, 2. Stupid. All right. Everybody's gonna move like the. We'll have to find a way to get the coils off. This works better. So all modules move like the gear. I go 1. Now we're gonna move the motor up to 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. All things move like the motor. We have a movement of 2. So 1. And 2. That's fine. I'm gonna have to use this. Move the 3 spent modules. Yeah, this thing is super annoying. And the laser's gonna be frozen. Woof. I don't really have a choice. I'm gonna move the 3 spent modules. This moves here. And that's fine. So all my modules are spent. Not great. That completes that pattern. This comes off. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the 10th pattern I'm trying to complete. I get another movement card. Not getting the bonus movement at all. I have no more extra stuff. That's interesting. So I can get 3 movement and 4 movement, but the 4 movement, remember, this is going to be super frozen. And the brain's also going to be frozen, which is super rough. Super frozen, super rough. Fantastic. If I move 4, 1, 2, 3. I think I can, even though the module's frozen, I think I can still move the creeper. Can't move him though. I need to keep the sensor up there, so that's actually going to work well. So if I move the 4 with this, I move 1, 2. I can't move the brain, and then I can move this up here, 3. That's done because I can't move the brain or the other thing. And then I have 3 movement with this, so 1, 2. That creates the sled pattern. I lose the extra movement from that. Let me think, do I want to move this guy? Not really. Don't see a huge benefit to that. As long as I get 2 movement, I'll be good for the next one. So this comes out here, this comes out. I did get 2 movement. So I'm going to use this movement. I'm going to move 1 and 2. I made the explore pattern. Do I want to move the creepy crawler? The motor needs to be in the center, so I do want to move it. I will move this over here because the sensor is not going to be moving based on the next pattern I need to make. Oh, maybe it will be. Woof. All those have to move. Yikes. Okay, we'll do that. So that's done. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12th pattern. This would finish the game. So that's coming off the side, so I'll move this over. Can I get to 12? It's going to take a minor miracle. But we got 11, and that was a little rough intermediate step there. I didn't get the bonus. I haven't gotten the bonuses in a while, so that eventually is going to catch up to you. So I have literally 1 movement. I have no more bonus movements on my module, so that's not going to work. So yeah, there's nothing I can do there. I mean, this got in my way for sure, but you kind of see like kind of the fun associated with that thing. I mean, realistically, I would need to move down, jump over 2, 3, 4. And that's like the worst. 4. The diagonal only moving is like really rough. I'd be like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. It's been roughly about that. So we got to 11. 11 says we are a rover achiever. That's great, but I want to be a rove machine. So let's try this one more time. We'll kind of switch it up and go a little bit quicker now that we have some of the basics out there. And then we will release everyone to a wonderful weekend of hopefully lots of games. I hope everyone's playing lots of games. My stuff is ready. Yay! Thank you, Amazon Locker. It's crazy, like finishing up this construction project in my house, man. It's like, oh, now we need one of those, and we need one of those, and we need something else. And like, Home Depot is great, Lowe's is great, but some things you just, unfortunately, got to feed the beast and get what you need. So it is what it is. But all right, so we have this out. We're going to reset this one time and see if we can't get the 12 in endurance mode with the 5 things. But yeah, we're not getting the extra movement bonuses, and that definitely plays a huge part. So here are all of the modules. And we're going to have one of every color, and they will all start with their module ability available. So we have the swap any 2 modules. That's the one we had last time. We have the draw the last discarded card. That's the one we had last time. We have the put the coil in a location. That's what we had last time. We have the move the motor 6 times. That's what we had last time. We have the place any module adjacent to the brain. That is new. And then we have the gripper activate any module adjacent abilities. So we do have 4 of the originals, 2 of the new ones. We put the creeper on top of the brain. And this is going to be our starting thing. We need to do pluck. So plucky. We're going to draw 5 movement cards. So 3 movement, but the coil and the sensor are frozen. 2 or 4 movement, depending. This actually will be 4 movement based on how things are currently set up. 3 or 5 movement, depending on where the laser is. 1 or 3 movement, depending on the coil. And then finally 3 movement, but the motor and the sensor are frozen. I tried Bury Me in the Rift solo print and play. At first I was put up by the rules, a lot of nifty compact stuff, but after figuring out it's a sweet little puzzle with lots of variety. Yeah, print and play is not something I've gotten into too much. Do not have like a very good printer set up at home. So it's like, yeah, one of those things. I get it. I think I'm glad they exist, but it's probably not a thing I'm going to be exploring anytime soon. Great. So we need to do pluck. What the pluck? That's right. I said it. I had to say it.
I said it. I read it. I saw my mama's credit.
All right. Someone's seen that. I hope. 1. Is this a jumper? It is a jumper. All right. Let me get the 4 movement that I can. And we're going to do 1, 2. What's next? Ooh, coil in the center. Don't do that. Woof. That's a bad one. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wait, I had to swap any 2 modules. That's where we started, right? How about I do 1, 2. We'll do this. 3. And then we'll do swap any 2 modules. We'll swap these 2. And that got us pluck. This goes to discard pile. We're going to put another pattern out. It is recharge. And then this will come out for here. Depending on where the gripper is, it'll be 2 or 4, remembering that counts as a wild. Do not have any special extra movement abilities available right now. We need to do recharge, which isn't great. Yeah, I don't think I could swap any 2 modules with the crawler on there. I don't know. Maybe I could have. Because the one thing I'm thinking about, if we go back to the last puzzle, and I had 3 movement, right? We go, could I swap any 2 modules with these 2? And then I don't need to move the creeper. I go 1, 2, and we keep that on the brain, which is actually a better place for it. I think I can. It's really unclear the way they wrote this, and like it's kind of a little nitpicky. I get it, but like A cover module should be considered temporarily non-existent. You should not use cover module's normal ability or its ability or its movement or its ability. So if it's non-existent, that's one thing. But then it says if an ability or effect allows or requires you to move or reposition the crawler module, you must crawler the module is covering together as one. So I guess it counts as its own module. So I could have used that, and that would have made more sense. I did not need to get that off the brain. So that actually works a lot better, and that would have been the final puzzle. So yeah, we're gonna go back a little, retcon that a little bit, and now we have to get the coil in a better place. Or I mean, honestly, I could do 1, 2, 3. We could have done 1, 2, 3 on the creeper. Woof. One, two. Three, and then I would have switched it. I think that makes a little more sense. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out. All right, that's my final answer. I think that's where I would want that to be. Uh, was that where it was originally? Probably was. I think that's where it was originally. And this should have been flipped. All right, I'm not going to change it anymore. It is what it is. So, what are my special? Oh, because I was thinking about maybe getting the special movement bonuses, or I don't know what I was doing. I was just messing around. All right, let's make this happen now. I need to get the coil pattern, and that will not be the easiest. Go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll do this. We're gonna get 3 movement points from that. So 1. What's next? Brain down in the middle. Woof. 1, 2. It can't move the sensor, so it's non-existent. Right, so it's frozen. I can still be moved. I just can't use its movement abilities. And 3. And then we'll do this movement of 2. We're going to do 1 and 2. That's the recharge pattern. So that's done. We get another card. We get another movement card. All modules move like the laser, but it's only 1 movement. Oh, the joys. That and that are frozen. I have no bonus movement. All right, we're going to do 3 movement here. Woof. Hmm. I'm going to. Jumping over things is annoying. All right, I'm gonna. Oof. This is somehow like stupid hard right now. I'm gonna have to move the crawl. Oof. All right, woof. None of this is great. None of this is great. Yeah, we're gonna place any module adjacent to the brain. I'm gonna move this one adjacent to the brain. So, all modules move like this. That's gonna move up. And then we need one more move just to get this sucker down. I don't want to activate the adjacent module's ability. Draw the last discarded card. I need to get that off there. So we have a move of 2. What's next? The sensor near the top. Yikes. We will play this for 2 move. We're going to move this card here and this card down here with the 2 move. So that completes the resist. We get the warp. We did that last game. This comes out. 2 move. I could refresh the coil if I make that pattern and then do 2 move. All right, warp. I need to get that up on the top. Everything's, the motor and the sensor are frozen. That's not the most useful. Excellent. I'm gonna move. I'll use this to move 2. Again, I'm not going to get the refresh ability. Then I'm going to activate any adjacent module's ability. I'm going to swap the place of 2 modules, and that gives me the warp. This is out. We go to learn. This is our 5th attempt. We get this. The gripper just does have something adjacent to it directly north of it. The brain is now next. Remember, sensor needs to be over here for the next one. So I can pretty much set myself up well for that, I think. Maybe. Woof. Maybe not. Learn. I need to get 2 and get the thing over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Those modules are frozen. Great. So I have 3 move here. So 1, 2. Three. That's done, and then I'm going to use this for the move 2, and it's just going to use the 1. So I have 1 movement card left, which isn't great. I still have that ability to get those cards back, but I can get more movement cards with that. I still have the coil ability, and we still have the motor ability. Do I want to move the motor on top of something? Sure, I'll move the motor on top of the gripper, because I still had an extra movement because I used the 1. And then I moved the crawler over as well. So I could use the crawler first. I mean, it doesn't matter the order, but we finally got learn. So we go to repair. We get another movement card. I can refresh the brain if I have that symbol. Again, this is never in the right place for me to get maximum points. I'm not going to worry about refreshing the brain. We're just going to move this 1. That goes in there. We have repair. Play comes out. That's super interesting. You get this effect. The coil and the laser are frozen, which is fine. I'm going to move 2, 1, 2. Is that on screen still? Yes. We got play. This is done. This comes out. We're looking for absorb. Next movement thing. All things move like motor. This is crazy because this is pretty close to learn. It's like the mirror image. of learn. So we'll see how we can try to pull this off. Remember, coil needs to be in the bottom corner. That's gonna be hard. I'm still not making any patterns to get that. I do have the ability to draw another discarded card. I can place the coil in any location, which will help. Yikes. One, two. That's a little unusual, but I think I can. I think I see something, maybe. All right, if I move this over, that goes up there. Oh no, I'm backwards. I'm looking at absorb. One. Place coil in any location. Place crawler. Oh, right. There is I forgot about the special ability on crawler. Like you can actually exhaust this to place it wherever you want. That might have been a big difference in the last game. Actually, because the crawler module actually has its own special ability. That was definitely my bad. That's goofy. That was dumb. Remember, the gripper needs to be in the bottom right. The one thing we didn't get with that ability where you just ignore the patterns required module, that's like super strong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is our 8th module, our 8th thing. It's our 8th thing. The brain is just really out of the way. All right, if we go 1, 2, okay, 3 movement points. 1, 2. I'm gonna put the coil in any location, and then 3. I'm going to then draw the last discarded card, because that's 3 movement points. I'm going to have all modules move like motor. So it's going to go 1, and you'll get this. Nope, that doesn't move like motor. So that's fine. I don't know how that works. I mean, it's a movement point, but all modules to move like motor. Can I just use that to move the crawler off? You may move to cover any adjacent module for 1 movement point, but all modules to move like a crawler, like the motor. So I don't think that actually is going to work. So that's fine. We got that done. I can just use that exhausted ability if I need to. That's going to be rough. No, I think we're good. So this comes out. We need harvest now. This comes over. Creeper and motor are frozen. That's like the worst. Motor is going to need to be in the center for the very next one. So that's going to be tough. I'm going to have 3 movement points. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3. That finishes up harvest. This is used. This comes up here. Now we need drill. This comes off. Ooh, I can refresh that if I make that pattern. I have not made a pattern in like 2 straight games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As far as a movement pattern. So this is our 10th one that we're going for. That one movement point is really bad. And then the next one's not going to be great because you're going to need the center in the bottom right. I think we're kind of at the end of our rope here. One. If I had that thing that everything moved like motor, that'd be amazing right now. That'd be really nice right now. One. It's gonna be. Oh, and that's yeah. We are in serious trouble. Can I get the ability to refresh with this? It's gonna be hard. I can't even make that pattern even by using the crawlers thing. Oh, that's rough. If we did. Yeah, so the way the movement cards work is they don't discard until you're done with the movement. So it's like it's kind of in play. So that's why you can like use this ability to get a card off the discard pile while it's still kind of going. 1, 2, 3. These are frozen. This is stupid. Let me try this. 1, 2, 3. So 1. Nope, I can't do that yet. I can do this. 1, 2. The brain again. That would have been not connected. So 3. But I couldn't move the. Yeah, we're gonna miss out on this. Woof. Well, no, we can still pull it off. It's not great though. 1, this comes up, and then I could put this on any module I want. What's next? Woof, that's bad. I'll put it on the coil, and then I can move the motor to 6 times. I'll just move it to once, and that gives us the drill. That comes up. This comes out. Ha. That is not the pattern of dreams for those purposes. So I can't get the 4 movement. I just get 2, and then I can go like 1, 2, and we fall short again. That was that, but yeah, did not get the 12 either time. Definitely forgot about the special ability on the crawler, but this definitely it's just a cool puzzle, man. I just like a lot of how this game comes together. I just think it's clever. I think it's simple and sweet. So if you're, hi, what did I miss? Can you start over? No. I did start over. Yeah, we did 2 games of ROVE. We did a game of Numbsters. But that's going to be it for today. I definitely recommend checking out some of the Button Shy titles. Again, ROVE is by far my favorite. Battlecrest is probably my second. Then you have, again, there's Numbsters, Fishing Lessons. Again, if you really have the right person in mind who you think would like it. Sprawlopolis was fine, not the greatest puzzle for me. Just ROVE does a lot of things that really just kind of appeal to what I like about these little card games. So, but Brian, good to see you. Thank you for a limited chat today, but I totally get it. We will have a I guess bigger crowd pleasers next week. We're gonna have Mage Night. We got ATO again, so we're gonna go back to that and try to really get that cycle going for real the next time, and then Still trying to get back to Reckland Run. I am learning the rules for Ashes Reborn, so that should be on the channel sooner rather than later. So just definitely have some big plans for the next couple of months. Questions, comments, epiphanies, put them in the comment section below. Requests, definitely put them in the comment section below as well. I will get back to you as soon as I can. I hope everybody had an amazing week and hope everybody has an amazing weekend. And until next time, happy gaming.
Solo.